In today's video, we're going to show you a powerful tool that we call the route mapping with optimization. So the first thing here is we're going to be able to take these route stops that are on our route schedule, and we're going to be able to send this up to a web database, perform the mapping, optimize it with Google on the back end, and it's going to give us the best way to drive this route throughout the day. It's then going to sync in the stop numbers and put these stops in order for us. So it's a pretty cool tool. You'll notice right now I do not have any stop numbers here on my route schedule. And this is going to help us get those in there, and they'll pull right back in when we're done. The most important part of this is we need to go to our customer list. So if you go to Customer Info, Customer List, you need to make sure you're seeing the physical street address here, the city, state, and zip code. Without a full address, street address, city, state, and zip code, the system cannot get a latitude and longitude for these customers, and therefore we cannot map them. So if you do this route mapping with optimization and you see that you have stops that do not show up, it's important that you go back to your customer list and take a look at the addresses. If the addresses are missing or they're not fully filled out, go into QuickBooks, add them properly into the Ship To area, click Update QuickBooks, and then click the Update Customers Only button right here. That'll pull those addresses back into the software. If you go back to your customer list, you'll see the address here. So get that taken care of first. Now, you'll notice these two customers here, we will not get a latitude and longitude for, but I'll show you that here in a moment. So get your customer list correct, and then build your route schedule. Once you have that set up, you're going to click the Sync Mobile Devices button. It's important to note that you have a database there in the office, and we have one on the website. The web mapping uses the web database, so any changes you make, you've got to push those up to the mobile side by using the Sync Mobile Device button. Now, the first time you use this, once you get the addresses right, get your routes right, click the Sync button here. It'll run for a little while, maybe take 5 minutes, and it'll push all that information up there. Once it's done, it'll tell you it's complete. You can then close this screen. Now, the first time you use this, you're going to click this Map button. When you click that button, you'll notice a little thing running across the bottom, a green bar filling up. As soon as it's done syncing up whatever remaining information that it needs, it's going to open up a web page just like this. It's going to wait for you to sign in. You're going to use the same username and passwords that you use in the desktop, and it's going to land you here, and it'll plot your location on a map. Now, the first thing we have to do is geocode these customer addresses. So we're going to go to Settings, Web Options. And you're going to be brought to this page, and you're going to click Geocoding. Now, the system is going to list any customers below that it does not have a latitude and longitude for. So you'll notice that I have a proper address for Speedy Cafe, but it's still listing this customer. We need to click the Geocode Entire Customer List button to get the latitude and longitude. It's going to tell you it's starting, and it's going to tell you it's complete. You can click Close on that screen. Now, if we refresh the screen and click on Geocoding again, you're going to see it's gone. That means we have a latitude, longitude for it. We'll be able to map it. It'll always hold on to that latitude and longitude going forward for those customers. But again, if you've added new customers to the system, you have to sync with the mobile devices, make sure there's a valid address, and come back to this area and hit Geocode Entire Customer List. So once that's done, we can click on Mapping, Route Mapping, and then you're going to see your location show up. Now, if your location does not show up, that means that we don't have a latitude and longitude yet for your location. In the desktop, we can go to MISC Info, System, Control Table Maintenance, and right here, that's where you put your latitude and longitude. So just go to like itouchmaps.com, put in your street address. It'll ask you for your street, city, state, zip. Put that in and tell it to get latitude, longitude. It'll give you the latitude, longitude. You could also Google how to get latitude and longitude for my address, and then input your address at a website. They'll give you these numbers. Make sure you plug them in into the correct area, the latitude and the longitude. Once you have it, click Close. Click the Sync Mobile Device button. Select Sync Core Files from here, and then hit the Sync button. Once it's done, you can go back to this website. You probably will need to refresh the page, and then you should see yourself pop up. So once that's out of the way that we map and optimize these, we click this little button right here. It expands, and then you're going to just choose a route and a day. Now, these come from your route schedule. So right here's my route, and here's the date that I'm looking for. I'll do R1 for 5/8. We already have 5/8 in here. Then you hit Map Routes. This is going to plot them on a map. If you want to see which route is which number currently before we optimize, you can just click on it. It'll expand, tell you who the customer is. You can set them as a starting location or an ending location, and you have a couple other options. So once you see them on the map, your next button here is going to be Optimize. System uses Google backend. It's going to go ahead and show you the best route. It looks like it's telling us to go down here and then up to 3, 4, and back to where we started. Now you can click the Directions button. This will give you a list of all directions from beginning to end. And to print this, just hold down the Control key on your keyboard, hit the letter P as in Paul. It'll pop up with a print menu. You can then click this Edit Route tab if you'd like also. So it's going to list them. Joe's Lawn Service is my company. This is where it's starting. Then it wants us to go to Brandberry, Panda Garden, Domino's, and back to where it started, right at my location. Now let's say you know your route better than Google does. That happens on occasion. You can drag and drop these. It reorders them. It'll be good to go. So once you look at this and you see what you want, you're good. You can then do your next stop if you want. You can, select your next tech, the dates, etc., hit Map Routes, and then optimize. You could do this for several routes, as many as you need to do. Now, once you're done, to pull this into the desktop, you're going to open up the Service Program desktop again. You'll notice we don't have stop numbers at this time. We're actually going to click the Sync Mobile Device button. And you don't have to do a sync all. You want to select routes. This will pull those changes back in. So this is a two-way sync. It can push information up to the web, but also pull it back down. So we're going to select routes, hit the sync button. It'll ask if you'd like to sync, hit yes. And it's going to run for a little bit. Now you're going to see this little green status bar along the bottom. It's doing its job. It's pulling down the information. Our servers are wide open. As fast as this pulls down is based upon your internet connection, your speed, your network speed, computer speed, etc. So it will generally take a few minutes. But again, what I want to stress is if you do not see a stop show up on here, make sure your customer has a valid address and that you've gone and done the geocoding at the beginning. So it's told me that it's done syncing these routes. If we open up our route schedule again, you'll notice that I now have stop numbers. The system has put this in the best order based upon the mapping and the optimization. So it's a pretty simple tool to use once you get used to it. The biggest part is just the setup of the addresses at the beginning to make sure they're up there properly. And that's it. Thanks for watching today's video on the route mapping and optimization.